The fourth set will be played on Akilon Wastes. Spawning in the top left-hand position, the blue Protoss player from Evil Genius's Team Liquid. The last shot at getting farther in the match, it's Oz.
His opponent, Red Zerg, bottom right.
They went through
His name
fast.
is crazy. That's why I went through it fast too, man.
I thought you went through so fast you finished, and then I cut you off.
Well,
you know,
I have to say the name before the intro is done.
I guess you do, but I thought you were going to be done on that one. You're like, oh, left Zerg, or red Zerg, bottom right, we're good.
No, you just gotta let me finish.
All right, well, looks like Oz is going to be doing an in-base gateway expand. He's building his pylon there near the ramp. Interesting.
Yeah, so this we saw on Naro Station a few days ago. I forgot which player it was actually. Was it Oz that did this build, or
I don't think so.
was it someone else? Because they went for something that was similar to the old Wings of Liberty style gateway expand.
It was, I think it was Argo actually. May have been
But
Argo.
we have a Forge, so he's most likely gonna go for a cannon.
Yeah, he may do a build that's very similar to the
Rush.
one that Hero did.
Yeah, in fact, he is his teammate, but remember, Crazy is not going for the pull first. He is going for the spawning pull. The probe goes unscouted.
Ooh, very nice. Okay.
Crazy does have an Overlord at the natural, but if that Overlord is not timed correctly, if the probe builds a pylon slightly later, then it's going to go unscouted as Crazy rallied his Overlord to the left side.
Yeah, just going to barely miss that pylon there. So this means that Oz is going to be able to passively deny the expansion above the natural, and he's also going to eventually be able to cannon the high ground at the top there. He's going to build a pylon or a cannon here. First cannon goes down,
and the second cannon is going to go up the ramp. But is he going to see the probe?
Oh!
He sees a probe coming out, so he should know that something is up right now. If he remembers the match with Hero against a Zerg player on this map, he should know that there's a cannon rush happening. Immediately sending a drone out just to double confirm that there is something sneaky happening in that little corner.
Here's the issue. The cannon's going to finish here. The Zerglings will not be able to reach that cannon in time, and you know, just such a great build on this map, I think, overall against Zerg players. The key here is going to keep this probe alive. Look at that. It looks like Crazy decided to cancel that hatchery, and Oz doesn't even need to build an additional cannon on the high ground.
Yeah, but Crazy having a nice scouting, he cancels the hatchery just in time, rebuilds the second hatchery in the left corner, and his opponent Oz is not going for the Nexus first, he's going for the in-base gateway play, so it's not like Crazy is too far behind compared to the other Zerg player that played on this map.
Not too far, yeah, considering the opening of Oz here. Grace is actually going to probably be a little bit confused when he sees what Oz did here.
So Oz just going to poke up the natural, sees that there's no expansion, and try to make its way into the main base. There is a Zealot, however, and Zealot is fantastic against 3 Zerglings, especially in a smoke choke.
Yep. Oz also scouts the third expansion there. I'd love to see him cannon that, just like to see what he can get away with, but probably won't see that from him. He's just going to focus on making sure that you know, his opponent doesn't stay on. He just stays on 2 bases for now.
You know what's also funny? If Crazy just kills the probe, he could take the natural easily behind this, knowing that there is a pylon, but all he has to do is get a queen out and then kill the pylon before the unit warpings happen.
You know what? We may actually see a 4-gate.
That's where I was going with this, because right now we do see a warp gate right now. We don't see additional gateways just yet, but remember, it's going to be hard for Crazy to take out the pylon at the natural. In fact, if he wants to do so, he needs a queen over there right now, just start slowly eating away on the pylon, and I would like to see him do it too, because he knows that his opponent might go for some early gateway pressure play.
He's building a Nexus behind this. Warp gate about halfway done, but we do see Oz moving across the map with a few Zealots in the Mothership Core against his opponent Crazy. And this is going to force a lot of Lings out of Crazy early on. He wants to make drones now, but he's kind of forced to make Lings in this scenario.
Yeah, well, he already made the Lings against the cannons, but he doesn't see the Zealots coming out as those Zerglings are out of position against the Zealots.
Kill the rocks.
He is going to try to kill the rocks over there.
Oh, that's so smart for him if he can pick off those rocks before too many of those units move in there. No, not going to happen there. The Zealot's going to go to town on this queen here. It's got to run around, and the Zerglings now, they're very close to having Zergling speed. And we're just going to see continued harassment on this rock here from Oz. I don't feel like this attack is actually going to end up doing too much damage, though.
Yeah, so you just need to make sure the Mothership Core does not get picked off as nice recall happens and Oz does not lose a single unit.
Yeah. All right, so you know what? The game actually, I feel, is even out considerably at this point. Supply-wise, we do have the Zerg player ahead, and he just, made a huge batch of drones. Oz, he doesn't even have his expansion down yet.
Oh.
Good SimCity, though.
I really love the SimCity.
Because
he knows that if Oz goes for the SimCity at the ramp, then Crazy can actually bust in from the right side. That's the reason why he's making a semi-wall using the 2 ramps over there, so that even if Crazy tries to bust up, he's going to have a nice wall for himself. Behind this, a Twilight Council +1 out of the way with 3 additional gateways.
We have a infestation pit on the way for Crazy, and against the Twilight Tech, this is actually going to be fantastic. This is great that he's doing this.
You know what I want to see right now? Swarmos.
I want to see them
Nidus.
too.
Nidus with a lot of queens. We don't see a lot of queens actually queued up, so the queens are not going to be in play. But a fast Hive or a Swarmos build against his opponent Oz, who is not going for the Robo, it's going to be fantastic.
Yep, and at the same time, Crazy's going to see exactly what his opponent's up to. Oz looks like he wants to go for the +2 blink timing attack against his opponent here, but fortunately for Crazy, Swarmhost kind of counter that.
Yeah, well, he just needs the good number of Swarmos out and also some supporting units behind it, because remember, even if there's Swarmos out, if his opponent Oz just buys enough time to get the Observer out, then the Blink Stalkers can slowly eat away on the Swarmos.
I don't think he's going to go for that, though. Oh, Crazy actually losing one of his queens here. A bit of a mistake on that end. And this Mothership Core, what's it doing out there? Oz picking that up, even, kind of shaking his head, being like, oh, why is that over there? That was kind of silly of me. And right now, the work count 51-46. Zerg player ahead in the game here. And
he is taking out their hatchery behind us.
Yeah. Still a bit of a sloppy game overall, I feel.
Yeah, Oz just not having a nice micro. Crazy also a little bit in the natural, losing a queen that shouldn't have happened. But behind us, Oz is getting a Robo, which means he is going to have detection against his opponent for the Swarmhost.
Yep, he's going to have the detection, of course. So the Swarmhost still going to be very useful, though. He's already got a few out, and the upgrade that allows the Locust to live a bit longer as well going to be very soon here. I think Oz is just going to take a third behind this, and that's a pretty good decision, I think. He can't really do anything in this position. Yeah,
and especially with the hallucinated Phoenix scouting inside the main base, seeing the infestation pit, Oz is probably telling himself, well, my opponent can go for the Swarmo, so it's better to get the Robo, get the Observer out, and the Colossus behind us, rather than trying to go for the base timing attack.
All right, Crazy's burning some of the Swarmhosts here, and they're actually in a pretty good position to get a few kills here on the sentries with good micro here. And no Observers out just yet. I think maybe we have one, but it's not on the good position.
No, it didn't start building at all. In fact, he went right into the Robo base, so he's going to start making the Observers pretty soon.
All right. We also see a Spire on the way here, and oh, the positioning here not so fantastic for Oz. Gonna lose a few units potentially to the Swarmhost here. Yep, the Stalker doesn't need fall. Overall, just kind of a weird game.
Yeah, I'm a little bit unhappy that Oz was actually out on the map with his units after seeing the Locust come out, because he knows that now he needs to play defensive. He needs to get the Observer Chrono boosted out. He needs to start making a lot of Colossus behind this to deal against the number of Swarmos that his opponent Crazy already has.
Yeah, Crazy smartly taking a 4th base behind this, going for the Hive. Just starting his +1 attack, 1 armor though, so he's going to be behind in the upgrades over his opponent Oz, who's already going for the +3 now. Getting a few Colossus behind this as well. Oz is gonna have a pretty strong army composition soon, and Crazy is gonna kind of have to wait for the Hive tech in order to hit his stride.
Yeah, well, remember the Spire is finishing soon, and he does have a good number of minerals and gases for the Corruptors against the Colossus, but right now he just wants a critical number of Swarmos out to make sure that his opponent Oz cannot make the timing attack happen.
Yeah, and I mean, there's already 4 more in production here. I think that Crazy has at least 8 to 10 Swarmhosts by this point. In a pretty good position. Yeah, he's got up to 10 now, so, not bad. He's got the critical mass of Swarmhosts now to defend. He just needs that supporting cast of units like the Lings and Roaches, maybe some Corruptors as well to defend. And with the Hive tech, we could actually see some Ultras.
Yeah, in fact, Crazy is in a good position right now. He bought enough time for the Hive to finish. He's going to have enough time to get some of the tech out as long as he makes some Corruptors behind this. Yes, 8 more Corruptors being made at this point. The 4th hatchery is going to go unpunished also. And this number of units from Oz, yes, it could eat away on some of the Zerglings, maybe the Corruptors, but it cannot kill the Swarmost.
You know what I'd also love to see, I think, in this scenario? Oz kind of... I mean, it's going to be hard for him to get Tempest. I think Broodlords may actually be a good choice. And look at that. Going for the Greater Spire, you know, I think it's a great decision here because we do see Oz going for the double Robo, not going for any Stargate play.
Yeah, remember, his opponent did not open up with the Phoenix. Well, there is no Mothership for the Vortex in this particular game. Why not go for the Broodlords against my Protoss opponent?
Yep. Oz still moving across the map here, trying to deny some of the creep. And the top position here, getting control of the Watchtower, sending some Locusts up there. Not a bad decision from Crazy. And even the Corruptors behind, maybe they're going to be able to snipe off some of these units here. There's not too much anti-air. And the back there, the Mothership Core does end up falling for free. Nice little win there for Crazy.
Yeah, so Oz right now, he's going for the heavy Colossus Blink Stalkers, which is okay, but the problem is the mixture of Swarmost, Broodlords, and possibly the Infestors is going to kill the Protoss player.
Yeah, I also want to point out Oz forgot the range upgrade for his Colossi. The thermal lances.
I'm a little bit surprised that Crazy is not going for the energy upgrade on the Infestors because that's going to be the perfect composition for our Surf player from KT Roaster.
I don't even know if he needs it right now, man. He's getting 5 Broodlords. He's got a nice Spine Crawler wall along with the Roaches. Ooh, this is looking mighty, mighty scary. Unit composition from the Zerg player. Oz, if he wants to make an attack happen, this may be the time to go for it. The Broodlords are not yet complete, but they are going to near very soon.
And here's the thing, Crazy wants Oz to attack into him right now, knowing that once he hits the timing, he's like, oh, I'm killing some Swarmos. That's when the Broodlords are going to swarm all the Stalkers, all the Sentries, all the Colossus, and finish the game. So Oz needs to know what's happening, and in fact, once he sees the units, he needs to start running back home.
Pretty much Crazy, his mindset right now, he's saying to Oz, come at me, bro, come at me. I'm ready. I got Broodlords, I got Corruptors, I got Swarmos, and look at this, Oz is going to commit to the attack here. Blinks back, realizes, wait, those are Broodlords. I need to hightail it out of here.
And he needs to make sure the Warp Prism is alive and well because remember, Crazy's army composition is so strong against Oz's main army. But this also means that he doesn't have enough mobility to defend against the Warp Prism. So if Oz can utilize this well, he can come back into the game. But the Corruptors are already on it. The Zerglings already covering the Warp Prism.
That the Corruptors will eventually be able to pick off that War Prism there, but I believe they're actually the same speed after the buff, so it's going to take a few twists and turns in order to see this War Prism get picked off here.
It is going to get picked off, however.
Yeah. And Crazy adding 13 more drones to the mix here. Going to probably just make a lot more Spine and Spores. There's also a good amount of Zerglings in this army composition here, and we do see a Stargate/Templar Archives under construction here for Oz. I think that's a pretty good decision for him to go ahead and do that. I actually would like to see Crazy go for an attack here.
One Broodlord gets taken out. And I like how Oz is playing this game. He's trying to play aggressive. He's trying to fight away from the Swarmos to see if he can take one Broodlord because he doesn't want his opponent Crazy to slowly move out on the map with the Broodlords and the Swarmos.
I think that right now the best decision for Crazy, prevent a 4th base.
Yes.
If he can prevent his opponent from going for that 4th base, he's probably got this game won.
Yeah, and also Crazy needs to start slowly moving out on the map because Oz right now, he is only trying to buy time for the 4th base, for the Stargate units, the Tempest, against Broodlords.
Yeah. And we do have a few extra Spines and Spores being constructed here. And now is the time. I want to see Crazy move across the map here. He's playing very, very defensive.
Yeah.
And, you know, it's good for him to have this kind of mix here. But I would like to see him try to push that out a little bit more. And look at this. The Stargates are spotted. Plus one attack on the way as well.
He's waiting for the Infestors right now. This is something that I really like from Crazy. This should have been... in fact, this should have been added into the main army a little sooner, I have to say, against the Stalkers. Because if you get a nice Fungal on the Stalker, those are toast against the Broodlords.
Fungals or Vipers, I would like to see either one of those.
And honestly, Crazy, if he wants to play defensively, he should take 2 additional hatcheries. Yes, he's taking 1 right now, but he should take another one and start setting up a huge Spine Spore Crawler wall in the middle of the map. Such that Oz, he is going to take a 4th base, but he cannot attack his Zerg opponent. We've seen this happen a lot. on Akilon waits to a point where the Protoss player, yes, they have a fantastic army, but with the Zerg player just slowly eating away with the Fungals and the Vipers, Protoss player eventually dries out because they can't take an additional expansion.
Yeah, it's almost like TVT where it comes down to who can starve out the other player first.
Yes.
And still the thermal range upgrade for Oz has not been researched. This is going to hurt him so much when he wants to go for an engagement here. Moving across the map is Crazy going to try to defend this expansion here. He kind of has a few units here, but not too much. Looks like the hatchery is going to easily fall to a lot of the Stalkers here, and even the Swarm hosts will end up falling there. Colossus going for a bit of a dance party there, but realizing their mistakes, going to run back here. And overall, not.
That's a lot of Brewlers over there. Infestors also waiting
Fungal
on the bottom.
goes down. Perfect Fungal there. Going to pick off a few of those units there. And Broodlord's going to chase away the rest of his army. Another amazing Fungal hits as well.
Up in the middle of the map. This is not a good news. He's buying just enough time for the Tempest to come out. But if he loses his main army before then it's not going to even matter.
No, the Fungal's hitting the Colossi once again, losing a few more of those. And the last of the Colossus will end up falling here. Crazy taking a very solid supply lead now, 200 to 170. We have pretty much just Stalkers.
And the Vipers are even out. The Tempests are coming out, which is going to be nice against the Brewlords, but the problem is he lost his core army, the 6 Colossus that he had. So now Oz is trying to buy time once again with the Stalkers running around the map. This is going to be nice for Oz, but the problem is Crazy has solid army composition.
Look at that as well. The Corruptors spotting the Warp Prism. They're going to be able to eventually take that out. The Stalkers, though, moving towards that third base of Crazy there. He needs to make sure he can defend. Stalkers blinking in there. Where is the forces for Crazy here?
Remember, Crazy's army right now is so slow, and those are Blink Stalkers. Against Brewlords, they could just run away all day long, and Crazy needs to make sure the Hive inside the main base does not get picked off.
Yeah, a good amount of Spine Crawlers there, along with some Zerglings, should be able to defend. But still, the Stalker count pretty impressive at the main base here.
Yeah, and he's just trying to trade away the Stalkers and the Tempest right now, which is a fantastic decision. Crazy, if he knows this is happening, he needs to start bringing his Queens, which is what he's doing right now, and also just make pure Corruptors instead of making more Broodlords behind this.
Yeah. And the Stalkers, looks like they may eventually pick off this Hive here, actually.
And
there we go, the
Tempest
Tempest
out of position.
The Broodlords, though, got to be careful against the Tempest army here.
And nice pull on the Tempest, except there's no Corruptors actually attacking that
particular
Tempest, but this is a nice
and getting another Tempest as well. Excellent micro from Crazy. That could be a huge turning point here as the Broodlords will be able to siege on the 4th base and even the natural, pretty much, without anything stopping them. The Stalkers from Oz, they're trying to make something happen here, but really, that's the only thing that he has as far as an advantage goes in this game. A few Archons are in construction here. Storm almost complete. There are still 3 additional Tempests out in Crazy's army here, but look at the resources for Crazy. He's up to 4K minerals, almost 2K gas.
So he's going to go for a base race, which is the only way that Oz can win the game right now, because remember, the Brewlords are slow, and if the pylons are just spread around the map, it's going to be hard for Crazy to actually take those out in time. So that's the reason why the main army is not forcing a fight at this point. So unless he sees a little gap where he can actually engage into Crazy's army head-on and win the engagement, he's not going to try to force a battle right here, but he can try to pick up a few units.
Yeah, the High Templar up there. Going to get stuck there. And no feedbacks on the Infestors there. I think a few of them got hit there, but there's going to be no storms
this time around.
All right, well, there's no supporting ground army here, so the Stalkers can actually just blink underneath those Broodlords. We're going to need to see some good transfusions here, but I think there's only a few Queens there. Blinding Cloud going down as well, but I think has Oz done it? He's going to be able to take out the ground army.
Yeah, well, this is what I said. If he finds a little gap, he can blink under and take out all the units, but there's still 9 Swarmos from our Zerg player, and he has a huge bank behind this. Look at the army left for our Protoss player, Oz. He only has 1 Tempest, 2 Archons, tons of charge loss, and Stalkers, which is nice, by the way, but the problem is Crazy can remake his units, Oz cannot.
He just made 16 Broodlords.
14 being made at this point. Yeah, 16 total.
The production tab at 16 for about a second there, and then
yeah,
I know 14.
I know, I'm just saying 14 right now, 16 previously.
All right, well, we have the
Don't worry, I know the number.
We do have the +3 attack on the way for the Zerg player. It's just about to complete here. And Burrow even on the way for our Zerg player. Zerglings running by towards this expansion, but it is somewhat fortified. The Zerglings may be able to move in here and do a good amount of damage, though, picking off some of these units. But Crazy, he's going to potentially lose the 5th base up here. Swarm Hosts, Broodlords are out on the map, but they're out of position. Not going to be able to deal with this Protoss army.
And the problem is, if Oz decides to go for a base race, Crazy already has a nice spine wall, and he doesn't have an Immortal, he doesn't have a Colossus to rip apart on the Spine Crawlers. He does have tons of charge loss, but this number of Spine Crawlers are going to buy enough time against what Oz has.
The Broodlord's doing a good amount of damage here as well. The High Templar or Bear, the Broodlings are going to be able to eventually pick them off. Look at that. It's kind of funny to see him run at him.
Yeah, well, only one High Templar does make it out as his Broodlings just die after a little time.
That's a pretty scary looking army,
he
man.
Doesn't have any anti-air. He only has one Tempest, which is going to get ripped apart by the number of Corruptors as Oz. His hands are off the keyboard.
GG! Oz unfortunately falls. Crazy taking the 4th game, and that's a 4-0 for KT Rolster once again against EGTL, and that means that KT Rolster is undefeated against Evil Genius's Team Liquid this season in Pro League.
And also, KT Rolster sending a message to Wungen Stars: we are not fooling around, even if we are in playoffs. So we are going to get the 2nd place. We are going to face you in the finals, and you might be the Pro League regular season winner, but we will be the 2012-2013 champions.
Indeed. So with the conclusion of this match, we are down to, I believe, a total of 8 matches.
Yes.
And that will be the end for the Pro League season until we move into the playoffs. So we'll talk a little bit more about that next week, or I guess 2 weeks from now, because we are going to be going on a 1-week vacation. There's the Incheon Indoor Games, Asian Games.
But if you guys don't want to watch some Korean stream, you can watch the Foreigner stream with MOG Anaheim Spring Championships.
Indeed. And we also have a few customer players being sent to go there. I believe Deer is going, Stats is going, and Sue as well. So
those VODs will get uploaded pretty soon on youtube.com/esportstv with the highlights from Group A, Group B, and Group C.